Hi, everyone. Lots of people popping in. Dawn, we have over 200 people joining us today, so that's really
So
exciting.
happy.
Welcome, everyone. We just see you all piling in here, so we'll give it a few minutes before we get started. For those who haven't joined in the past, my name is Lisa Nickel. I'm the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing for JF Fabrics, and today we're going to be chatting with Dawn Lang. So I have lots of exciting things to say about Dawn, and then I'm going to give her the floor. She's got a great presentation for everyone today. She has created something really unique, relatively inexpensive, and I know it's going to be so valuable to you, especially, for those of you who are interested in, creating content for social media, promoting your business through social, presentations for clients. All of that stuff is just so difficult. And especially if you're kind of a one-person show, it's really difficult to manage all of the renderings and all of your content and all of that sort of thing. So Dawn has developed a concept. She owns a company called MockUp Studio, and she's going to tell us all about that. But she's also going to help us kind of navigate through software called Canva that I think some of you may be familiar with. She is a master at it, and I saw her presentation already, and I just got so excited. The possibilities are absolutely endless. So again, thanks for joining us. I'm just going to let everybody kind of stream in here. Today, what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce you to Dawn, and then I'm going to give her the floor. But as always, we really love to know where everyone's coming from. So feel free to leave some comments in the chat. We always love to hear from you, your comments, where you're coming from. If you have any questions, you could certainly put them in the chat, but we do ask or prefer that you put them in the Q&A, and then we'll answer all of those at the end. And if there are a lot of questions, then we can still give you a forum to ask them where we can get Dawn to give you the answers. Gisela is saying hi, Lisa and Dawn from Oakville. Hi, Gisela. And then at the end, which is super exciting, Dawn's got a couple of things to give away. I think, Dawn, correct?
Correct.
Some real great treats for one or two of you. So the only criteria is that you have to be with us at the end, and just raise your hand or put your name in the chat if we call it, and we'll be sure we get that special treat over to you. So we're just got a few more people coming in here, Dawn. We'll just let that flow in, and then we will get started. What is it like in San Diego today, Dawn? That's where Dawn's coming from.
It's hot. This is probably one of the hottest Septembers on record. So it is, hot and dry.
Hot and dry, yeah. Yeah. Now, I think I've only ever been to San Diego in November, and it's just beautiful in November.
Well, we went together to Palm Springs. I think
that's right. I think that was in November, wasn't it?
Yep.
So I will explain the association with Dawn and how we know her once we get a few more people in here. And we want to start pretty soon because Dawn's got a pretty full presentation for us today. So we'll give it another minute or so, and then we'll get started. How's the smoke and everything there, Dawn? Are you experiencing any of that, or that's further north?
Further north. Yeah. So my daughter actually lives in San Francisco, and she just left this morning. She had come down for a week basically to escape it. It was bad up there. She's right in the Bay Area, and it just kind of circles and sits there, and there were fires above them and below them, and so
terrible.
Yeah, it's not wasn't as bad here. So
well, that's good, but you've had your fair share, so yeah, for sure. Oh, we have Lori saying hi from NYC. So hey, Lori, thanks for reaching out. We're going to get started. So thanks for joining us today. For those of you who've just joined, my name is Lisa Nickel, Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing for JF Fabrics. And we've been having these webinars really since COVID started, I would say, or at least from April. We took a little break in the summer, and then we've just been hitting you with all of these webinars week after week after week. And many of you are repeats, some of you are new. Either way, we're so happy that you're here and that you're giving us your time. Our whole intention in doing these webinars is not to just pump you with information about JF, although we do love talking about ourselves, but it's really more to add value to you as our customer, and to try and bring you as much information about the industry, how we can help, other people that can help, and just connect you with people that can help you grow your business, because really, in turn, we all benefit. So we do hope you find these valuable, and we do hope that when we send you the follow-up to these webinars that you give us some comments and some feedback, and we'd love to hear a little bit about what else you'd like to hear about. So I'm going to stop talking about that. If you have anything, we have someone from West Palm, Florida, West Palm Beach. So hello. And then you can leave any comments in the chat. We're always happy to hear from you there. There's a Q&A. Questions in the Q&A are always welcome, and we will address those at the end. And then we have a giveaway for you today. So for those who stay for the end of the presentation, Dawn's got some nice goodies to give away. So if we call out your name at the end and you are still with us, just raise your hand or leave something in the chat, your name in the chat, and we will be sure to get that to you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Dawn Lang. First and foremost, we know Dawn because Dawn used to work. Dawn was our brand ambassador for JF in a couple of years ago, and she was well loved, very, very talented. She's got an extensive background in window treatment, fabrics, home furnishings in general, really, and over a decade of experience with software such as Photoshop, Illustrator. Dawn understands, really what is possible when it comes to graphic creation. And that's what we're so excited about, because she's going to share that insight with us. She's going to put together, she has put together this course. So it's going to teach us how to leverage Canva to put together amazing presentations. Great content that's going to be fast and also efficient, because we know you're all super busy. So it's perfect for you if you're the beginner, or a little bit about tech or graphics, but not a ton, to the most confident designers who use Canva already. Dawn's presentation will teach you what no one else is talking about, which is so exciting: how to incorporate custom designs into virtual presentations to elevate your designs, attract higher end clientele, and create the best possible client experience. So Dawn, tell us, what was your inspiration behind MockUp Studio?
Well, it's something that I have been doing on my own for quite a while. I have always utilized renderings, whether it be Dreamdraper or other photos, Photoshop, Canva, to be able to show completed projects. As an interior designer, as a window treatment professional, always wanting to be able to provide my client with the, what is it going to look like? When you can ask that question, what is it going to look like when it's done? I always wanted to be able to answer that question. So always just really dabbled in it a lot, and have really taken the time to really specialize in it, and really have shared it with colleagues of mine. However, during COVID, when everybody was just really trying to figure out how to now work virtually, realize that this is the time to really bring this out and have something, that people can benefit from, and grow their business, their virtual business, their virtual design business, and their online business. So that
Wonderful.
was it. Yes.
So Dawn, I know that you've got an amazing presentation for us, so I'm going to hand the controls over to you.
Okay.
Yeah, so
all right.
Started.
Well, thank you so much. I am going to just actually start sharing my screen. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Thank you for your patience.
All good.
It's on? You got it? Okay, good.
We see it.
Okay, perfect. So I want to say hello to everybody and welcome to this week's webinar, Turning Your Design Concepts into Clickable Links. And I want to thank you, Lisa and Jaya, for having me on, as well as everybody who's taking the time to be here today. I really appreciate the opportunity to share my virtual presentations, tips, tricks, and ideas with you today. And I look forward to speaking with you afterwards and just learning more about how you feel like this could benefit your business and maybe something that we could share and, you know, benefit others as well. So as Lisa told you, my name is Dawn Lang. I started MockUp Studio just really during COVID and taking everything that I have accumulated and learned over the years for my own businesses and used as a consultant and really tried to bring it more as a resource for those in the design industry who can benefit from it. So myself, I have spent almost 25 years in custom home furnishings, but always, as I said, had a strong focus on technology, graphics, digital representations. I worked as a consultant for companies such as Dream Draper. For those of you who are familiar with it, that was probably one of the original rendering software programs, similar to kind of what we'll talk about today in using mockups inside of Canva. That was, if you're familiar with Dream Draper, it was more of like using vector images inside of PowerPoint. So this really kind of steps that up and elevates it. I've also worked for Costco as a consultant, Comfortex, JF Fabrics, and Haynes Fabrics. So really heavy in the home furnishings industry, very experienced. That's really where my passion is. And as you said, we talked about my motivation for starting MockUp Studios, really to provide a high quality, soft goods focused mock-up design service that's geared toward the interior design industry. So mock-ups are something that's been around for a while. Right now, you know, you can go on and search for mock-ups, and in the apparel industry, there's so many different options, whether you're doing t-shirts or you're, you know, selling leggings or whatever, you know, there's so many mock-ups available for fashion and accessories, but it's really just been recently that they're starting to focus now on home fashions as well. And I really wanted to bring this to you as a resource, show you how to use it, and then make you aware that we are offering a service. If getting, into Photoshop on a daily basis and just really digging into all the tools and everything that it can do isn't your thing, you can outsource it. So, if you're an interior designer and don't want to be a graphic designer, don't worry about it. We can help you. And when you think about mockups, we're going to go through this, but really think about it as kind of your bridge between a custom design concept and a clickable link that your clients can now purchase now that most people are wanting to transact online. So our presentation today will be delivered in Canva with helpful tips pointed out along the way for things that are helpful for our industry in Canva. If you're unfamiliar, Canva is a graphic design platform that allows you to create social media graphics, presentations, marketing pieces, documents, and other visual content. We'll be covering many of the features of Canva. If you're new to it, I suggest reviewing the Getting Started tutorials that it offers. You can sign up for a free account. It's very simple to do. And you'll find that most of the functions are extremely user-friendly and all organized really well in a side ribbon that we'll go through. So we will get started. As I said, this is an actual Canva presentation that you're looking at now. So all these graphics are kind of created in Canva. And oops. Done one. There we go. I think I missed one. Here we go. Okay. So today, what we're going to cover in this presentation is exactly what is a mockup and how is it used. We'll go through a brief overview of Canva, and then we'll talk about how to use mockups in Canva to present custom products in a real-life context, how to increase your sales by adding products to design boards, and how to create virtual catalogs and sell products online. So we'll talk about a little bit about all of those things. So mockups are basically blank template designs that are just waiting for personalization or customization to suit a particular idea or concept. And they allow us to show custom soft goods to our clients, and they won't have to imagine what they're going to look like. They're great selling tools. Product mockups can be great selling tools, and who can benefit from them? Basically, there's so many people that can benefit, but we're going to focus today on designers. So if you're a designer and interior designer, and whether you are currently including e-design in your services or you'd like to include e-design, you should find some things of interest to you today. Or local drapery workrooms or upholstery workrooms who really want to promote their services to their designers and maybe showcase products that you're capable of producing. Or maybe you're a window treatment retailer that's looking to offer unique custom home decor products online. So, we want to start to get to the point where we're offering products to our clients that are not shoppable, and they're not products that are just in big box stores, or, it's not the just kind of standard pair panels that you're finding in, websites that I'm sure you're familiar with. No names mentioned. Again. So why do you need mockups? Well, now more than ever, our clients are turning into buyers that want to transact online. And in our industry, we are faced with a twofold challenge. We need to present complex products that are custom made, highly configurable, and have multiple variations. And it's a challenge to take all of those different options and put it into something that someone can view online. So using product mockups in conjunction with an e-commerce solution is, it's really going to become necessary for any of those, designers or retailers who want to either sell online or present online. So we're going to just go over a little bit about the platforms needed for editing a mockup. So you'll see in the right-hand corner, Creative Market. That's one of my favorite places to purchase mockups that can be edited. And we actually have on our website, we have a curated selection of mockups for interior designers. But Photoshop is really, mockups allow you to take a digital fabric image and put it on a virtual drapery, shade, pillow, sofa, etc. That editing takes place in Photoshop. So you cannot edit a mockup in Canva. You can purchase the mockup in Creative Market, you can open it up in Photoshop, and you can edit it. Now, those who don't have Photoshop or image editing skills, needed can outsource this, as I said, to MockUp Studio to just make this process a lot easier. We'll just talk a little bit about the expenses. As Lisa mentioned, they're all very affordable. I mean, we are not talking a huge investment here for the potential return on your investment. So, if you're going to purchase from Creative Market, or you're going to go online and find a mockup to purchase, they're going to range somewhere between, depending on what you purchase, $15 to $60. You are going to need to edit those in Photoshop. Photoshop, is $9.99 to $19.99 a month, depending on the which membership you get. But then your time. So you're going to talk about editing the mockup templates and how much time goes into that. So if you do 1 or 2 a month, it's going to take you a lot longer, because you're going to have to keep refreshing your mind about how to use Photoshop. If you're not working in it daily, it's complex, and there are a lot of different menus and options to be using. So if you're quick at it, editing mockup templates can take you 20 minutes. If you don't do it all the time, it could take you 60 minutes to half of your day. It's just one of those things you can really, can take up time, and all of a sudden you realize 3 hours have gone by. So MockUp Studio, like I said, you could outsource that to us. Becoming a member is free. We are, it's organized right now as a studio, so hence the name, because we wanted to create something where you're logging in and all of your things are in one place. So anytime you want to request a mockup, it would be done through your studio, through your client portal. And anytime your designer has completed a mockup for you, you can access it in your client portal. And then, you know, as I said, this is newer and it will evolve, but the intention is to, you know, once a month, add some, you know, for people that are members, add some, you know, different types of incentives to belong to MockUp Studio, and those will be added to the portal as well. So everything will be in one nice place for you to access. So it's free to become a member. You would go in, you can order a custom edit in a specific vendor fabric, and we'll go through this in the next coming pages. And to have one of those, you know, to outsource that to us is about $8 to $12 a piece for one of our library templates, which we'll take a look at in a minute. And then Canva. So regardless of how you decide to work, you know, Canva is really an essential. But you can subscribe to Canva for free. They have a free subscription. You can sign up. You don't have access. You'll see when we go through it, there's access to a lot of photographs and things that you have if you pay. Their pro membership is only $9.99 a month. And you have access to all these different images and different tools and that make your job much easier. So I would say no matter what, if you don't subscribe to Canva right now, that'd be the first thing I'd do after this webinar is get on and start poking around in it. Okay, so as I mentioned, this presentation is going to take place in Canva. So I'm going to actually exit out of the presentation mode and go right into my dashboard, and we're going to start to get into some of the fun things. So we'll start out with just we talked about what a mockup is, and now we're just going to take a brief minute to just take an overview of Canva right now. So I'm just going to go in and delete this little. This is my placeholder here. So we'll start by taking a look at the side menu here, this little navigation ribbon, super easy to use. I'm going to click in and out of each one just to give you an idea of what the options are. So we'll start over here in templates. And as you can see, you've got, you know, Canva gives you tons and tons and tons of pre-designed templates, whatever it is you want to create. There are, you know, things that have already been created, and you can go in and change colors or text or images, whatever. So those are very, very helpful when creating something on the fly, whether it's a social media graphic or, you know, it's something that you want to put on a brochure or whatever. So that is templates here. Uploads. So uploads is a button that you'll use quite a lot. And so this is where you are going to take anything. So if you purchase or you create a mockup, you're going to save it in your downloads or your desktop or wherever, and you're going to upload it. So when you go into upload, you would go to your device and upload your images. And you can see here, there's also options to upload from other places as well. Now, photos, this is one of the really, I think one of the great benefits of belonging to Canva Pro, which is, like I said, only $9.99, is access to all of these photographs. So whatever it is you're trying to create, well, I'll show you later, but, you know, whatever you're trying to create in your presentation, you just want to create a platform for, you're going to, you know, start to put together a rendering. You can easily just go in and search wood floor, and now you've got something that you can start to move things around on and start to build on. So you've got all different types of photographs and to choose from, and those are, you'll see, free because I belong to a pro. So those are the photos. Next is elements, and elements is basically clip art. Anything that you're trying, if you're creating marketing pieces and you want to, you know, you want some clip art, and then you also get your great shapes or frames. So your frames are something, if you wanted to slide an image and give it a circular shape, you can, you know, go in and take a different photo and add it into your frame here. So these are, we won't get into all of these, but you'll see there's so many different, and again, because if you're a pro member, you have access to all of those. I think if you're not a pro member, if you use one of the images here and then you decide to download the program, they will charge you $1 for one of the images, I think. Next is text. So you've got, you know, if you're creating presentation boards and you want to add some text, you can just go in and click that. You've got toolbars up here to go in and change your text size, color, font, you know, what have you. And then as you know, Canva does with everything they do, they always give you some great options that are pre-done for you. So they're showing you here text that looks great together, and you can use those. They've just added, this is a recent addition where, you're getting all these really kind of cool neon colors, and it's just endless. You have so many things that are pre-done for you that makes your job easier. We're not going to talk too much about this, but just so you know it's there, you've got access to music, so you can create videos for social media or for your video or for your website. And if you're creating a video, you can actually access music to put behind the video. So that's your music selection there. So we'll talk about how to create a video, but you can also, right here, these are videos that you can use as well. And so, if you just do a quick, sometimes you just want to add a little something to your website, and you're like, to photograph, to create the video may take a while, but I'm just going to pop one on here. Actually, delete this little thing here. I don't know, actually, I don't know if it's going to, oh, here we go. And you'll see they're just handy little videos that, kind of show what we do that you didn't have to create. So those are in here. Feel free to, just play around in there and check those out. Backgrounds. So whatever you're creating, you've got a multitude of different types of backgrounds here that you could incorporate, different textures. I'll just pull one over here quickly to show you. So we'll take this one off. Whenever you click on a background, it'll just fill in your entire presentation. So it might be that you created everything on a white space and now you want to give it a color behind it. You can pick a background. This is a gradient, but you can go in and change your colors over here. So you can easily change the color, and then you can also pick from the color wheel, but you can also apply a color that you have as well. And lastly is folders. So folders is really one of the places that I want to highlight paying attention, that this is really helpful for what we do, because it's going to help keep you organized, help save you time. As you start to download things in Canva, if you're not putting them in folders, your upload file over here would be a hot mess. So you want to keep things organized, and when you download them, put them into a folder. So you'll see I've got multitudes of folders, but I'm going to open up my JF Fabrics folder, and that allows you to save images, JPEGs, but also presentations. So any presentations that you may create, this is what I've created for a JF presentation, but these might be different client presentations. And what is really helpful about this is it allows you to take something that you may have rendered for another client and put it onto the presentation that you're currently working on. So, you don't have to keep recreating something. You can snag it from a different presentation. And then you'll see down here, we'll be using these later, but these are photos. So these are what we're going to get into. These are mock-ups in here. So all of the mock-ups are saved as photos in my folders. So that is, I'm going to be pointing out as we go different menus up here. As you highlight something, you'll see you get different little selections up here, and those will point out as we're going through the presentation as to what they do and how they can be helpful to you. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. There we go. All right, so we're going to start to talk about now, how can we present custom products in a real life context using mockups. As I said, they really give you the opportunity to present a realistic product image to your client without having to go through the expense of making a product, say a drapery or room and shade, in a particular fabric, hanging it up and photographing it, so then you can put that on your website or into your lookbook or whatever. You can just create as many digital products as you want. It's only going to, your cost is just going to be what you invest to have them made or make them yourself. It's just going to be an investment of time. You don't invest in purchasing fabric or fabrication until it's sold. So it gives you the opportunity to really put together great presentations, and like I said, not making anything until it's sold. So we're going to move on to, you'll be seeing, I mentioned earlier, in MockUp Studio, we offer just library design. So they're individual items. And here's an example of some of the library designs that we offer. So, you've got your basics when it comes to interior or upholstery, window treatments or upholstery, a number of different types of cushions, table runners, duvet covers, the little balances, Roman shades, roller shades, and a couple of different headers for draperies. And now we'll get into, you know, how do we present that in a real life context for our clients? So say you have a fabric specified. I'm gonna move down to this slide here. Try and make it a little bit bigger. I could go back to 50. Okay. So you can see hold on. We'll go back to 50 and we'll move this out of the way. Okay, there we go. All right. So here's one that we took. You'll see over here, the JF Midnight collection, JF Fabrics Midnight collection, one of my favorites. I love teal, I love brown. This is one of my favorites. So I took this one for our presentation. This was actually an image that was shown on Instagram. Went over to the website and extrapolated the actual images, the JPEG images, for use on my mockups. So one thing I do want to say is that this is only possible, like you can only create a mockup successfully if you are partnering with a vendor who has beautiful digital images online. So if you're working with a company or a vendor, your drapery vendor or fabric vendor does not have digital images online, it's going to be a challenge because this is how you need to present what you need to create a beautiful mockup. And so JF is, as far as I'm concerned, like way ahead of the game. They've had beautiful images online, and pretty much all of their fabrics are available in a digital image. So it makes it much easier for me if I'm creating a concept for a client, I can go onto their website, grab the JPEG and know that I'm good from the beginning till the end. I'm going to be able to create a virtual presentation, a digital presentation, and then, I've got a beautiful fabric for the end result. So that one you'll see here, the fabrics from the Midnight collection, I just grabbed the little floral and a couple of the different patterns that go with it and created the drapery and then some accessories. So, when you think of it in terms of like upselling, and we talked about not having to imagine what it would look like, it's beautiful when you can show these nice fabrics folded and laying out, but your client is left to imagine what would that look like in a Roman shade, or what would that look like in a pillow, or just what would it overall look like in my room. So having the ability to create these mock-ups really helps make this process so much easier for your client. We can imagine it, but our clients oftentimes have a hard time. So we're going to scroll down here and look at, how do you layer these mock-ups? So we've individual items made, and now we're going to layer them together. So I'm just going to delete this one here because I'd like to point out in this one, when you have something highlighted, so I highlight this drapery, just click on it, and you see the blue bars around it. You have a menu up at the top now that gives you some tools to use. So this particular tool here that I've highlighted, this little plus one, is a duplicate. So I can duplicate that panel and I can drag that over here. So that's the duplicate button. That's the tip of this slide. But you'll see how these were all layered together. So the drapery, the Roman shade, the window, and easily just kind of drag them around. And now you're starting to create this concept for your client and really start to show them what their finished product is going to look like so that they don't have to imagine it. Now we're going to come down. I want to point out another one where we're still working with the same fabric here, but we'll talk about position, this tool here. So we're going to highlight, perhaps, you showed that concept to your client and they said, that's a little bit busy. One thing that mockups is great for is really communicating with your client and being able to show them something and have them visualize it and then communicate to you that maybe that's not what they were looking for, or maybe you nailed it and they love it, but it really helps with communication. So, so perhaps you showed them this and they're like, oh, that's really beautiful, but it's too busy for me. I need something a little bit more solid. So, you can go into adding maybe a solid panel with the same Roman shade for this exercise. I'm keeping the panels because I happen to love that pattern on the panel. But maybe let's look at a solid Roman shade. So here are Roman shade mock-ups, library designs. I've added the Darjeeling fabric, one of my favorite JF fabrics. Hangs beautifully, looks like a linen, but doesn't wrinkle like a linen. So here's a Darjeeling in just a soft green color, and I'm just going to drag that over to show my client what the options would be with maybe some solid colors as well. And because we're highlighting the position tool here, we're going to click on that shade and then come over here to position, and we're going to just move that backward. And it's going to put that right behind our panels. So now we've got that look to show the maybe just a soft, really muted shade behind there. And we'll take that one off and maybe show the option of a brown. Actually, you know what? I'm going to undo this because I'm going to show you how you could easily do this. Okay, so we've got the green. We can go in and duplicate this slide. So now we're working with the same slide. But I've got the green one here. I'm going to take this brown one off, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to take the green one off, and I'm going to slide the brown one over. This really, this is such a beautiful shade of brown. And again, we're going to position that backward and put it behind our shade. So now this could be, and you can download these presentations as PDF files. You can, there's so many different ways that you can present these to your client, but now there's a comparison of, you know, what it's going to look like with two different solid options. And you saw the amount of time that it took to do that was very, very little. And it can really help. These are the types of things I think in this new virtual market that your clients are really, really going to appreciate, that you've gone to the time, taken the effort to help them understand what their finished product is going to look like. And then here's just another example of that as well, but maybe this time just really breaking it out into kind of a concept board and breaking down individual concepts and outlining, you know, this might be something that they sign off on, where they're, you know, it's outlining the drapery hardware, it's outlining the fabric that's specified for the panels and the fabric that's specified for the Roman shade. I would always recommend, especially working virtually, that you know, put some disclaimer on there that the colors, especially if you're not going to be swatching or sending swatches, that the colors may vary depending on monitor, and that these are for concept purposes only and may not totally be to scale. So for the most part they can, but you know, you never know. You know, sometimes when you give finished product results like product images like this, your client may say, well, in this picture that flower is right here, and over, you know, on my actual window it's over here. So you know, you want to leave it open to say it's not to scale, this is for rendering purposes only. Okay, so we are going to move along to talk about how to increase your sales by adding mockups to design boards. And this is really where you can separate yourself from other, you know, designers who may be doing just mockup boards, selling them, you know, the mockup boards on different platforms. When it comes to soft goods, you know, it's easy to create a mood board with things such as tables or, you know, hard treatments or accessories like a mirror or something that's not as customized as soft window treatments or upholstery. And you know, when you see so many on Pinterest and on Instagram, you see so many different mood boards, and they always are so lackluster when it comes to the window treatments, because there's really no pictures of beautiful window treatments online that you can snag and put onto your mood board. So when you can create them and put them onto your mood board, you now are giving your client a concept that they can't shop. You know, if you go on to West Elm, I mean, I love West Elm, but you know, if you see that panel on a board and someone says, oh, that's from West Elm, and you're trying to sell it for, you know, a particular price, and they know they can go find it or they buy it and they've gotten a million coupons or whatever, when you start to add custom products to the design boards, custom window treatments or upholstery or pillows that are not shoppable online, you're going to elevate your level of clientele and easily, you know, increase your overall sale. So being able to just drag those mock-ups onto your mood boards is as well as all of the other, elements to the design, is really going to help you increase your overall sale. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is how to create virtual catalogs and sell products online. So product mockups are great for building a library of custom products to sell virtually. And like I said, without the expense of making and photographing them. So, there's so many great platforms now. Etsy is really, I get emails from Etsy, and it's just amazing to me how much they're focusing on home decor right now. And they've got some great collaborations with well-known influencers who are creating these Etsy shops and selling their own line of goods on Etsy. And so why not be one of those people? Why not, start to curate your own look and offer it in products? And again, with mockups, you don't have to go through the expense of buying them all, making them all, and photographing them all. You can just create mockups and put them on there. Etsy lets you set timeframes. Most people that are shopping on that site understand that most of that stuff is custom made or made as ordered. So, you can put things such as pillows, table runners, placemats, Roman shades, draperies, bedding. But another one that we'll talk about a little bit more in a few slides is Shopify. And so there are so many e-commerce sites now that allow you to create variations for products. So it makes it easier to sell things that have multiple, like our products, different sizes and different variations to them. And you can do that with mockups. And so what that's going to do is really, like the title of the webinar, turn your design concepts into clickable links. So it gives you something for your customers or your clients to click on and buy, because we are all doing this, we love doing it, but we are doing it to make money. And so the easier we can make it for someone to click it and buy it, whether they're, sitting at a soccer game, if they're even doing that now, or they're, at home at 11 o'clock at night and they decide, yes, that's for me, I want it, I want to click it, buy it, and be done. You want to give them these opportunities to purchase and transact online. And, having a mock-up is so much easier to do that. So here's just kind of an example. We're going to talk a little bit more about, custom products configured for online sales. Now, this isn't, we tend to, with custom, we think, oh, I want to sell online, but it's becoming more and more the norm, I think. And the more that you can stand out from others, from just kind of big box stores or large retailers who are selling Roman shades online, you can go in and offer something that they're not seeing anywhere else. So here I took one of my favorite JF Studio fabrics, put it onto a mock-up for a Roman shade. And then this is just kind of an example of, if you are shopping online and you're shopping for something with variants, kind of what this would look like. You want to give your clients the option to select a width, select a length, and then it will generate a price. So that's all possible now in a lot of the e-commerce websites. I did have a slide. Okay, we'll go down. We'll get to it. Okay, that's coming. So here we've got a Roman shade. You could easily offer a custom or a semi-custom panel program on your website. Maybe you don't want to get to this level of having to design this much of a variation of products. And I will say, doing this here, this is going to be somewhat of an investment, more so to set up your website in this way. Creating the mockups will be one of the easiest things. When you're creating an e-commerce website and selling products with multiple variations, you're going to need to be working with somebody that can help you get that set up. Or, understanding really how to use something like Shopify. I will say, like, when you are online and looking at something with multiple variations and you pull up a width and a length and a price is automatically generated, it's all pre-programmed in the back. So it's not like the system is figuring out what the price should be. It's all been pre-programmed in with multiple variations and then a price attached to a variation. So it can be something that can be a lot of work and you'd want to outsource this. But you could easily, I would say, for, you know, probably under $2,000, get to this point where you're offering a multitude of different custom products online. So one way to maybe even start that and see if it's something that's going to work for you is maybe just offering a semi-custom panel program, either on your website or, you know, in Canva, you can create a PDF. You could create a lookbook of panels, you know, one width on each side, 84 inches long, 96 inches long, or, you know, maybe semi-custom sizes somewhere in between there, where you know what your labor cost is, you know what it costs for your lining, you know, you need 3 yards of this, you know, this particular one, here's the Darjeeling, calculate all that all out, and now offer a panel program to your customers for, you know, X amount of dollars. That's pretty simple to do. And that you can all do in Canva with some mockups, and even save it as a PDF, put it in your iBooks, and have something that you can even send to a client. So we'll kind of come down here and see a little bit more, kind of like peek behind the curtain a little bit more. So say you decide to do that and you want to put that on your website. What does that look like? And in Shopify, as I mentioned, there's an opportunity to put up to 3 different options. So you can put in a width, you can put in a length, and you can put in color as options. That all suits our industry perfectly fine. And then you can have up to 100 variations. And so this is just a little bit of what that looks like in the back, but every particular variation of width and length will create an opportunity for you to go in and put a price. So if you get into maybe panels that are going to be larger than 1 width on each side, or you get into Roman shades and you give size brackets, you can create those and program those into the back end where you put in the variants for Shopify or others. Magento, there's a number of different ones. There's actually so many out there now, but I'm most familiar with Shopify, so that's what I tend to show. Okay, so as Lisa mentioned, there will be a giveaway, and this will be available for purchase as well. So what we decided to do when in collaboration with JF is offer a complete set of drapery panel mock-ups in the Darjeeling fabric. So you can see all the colors here. I think there's 40 something. This is one of the, just an example of the mock-ups, but you would get a pleated panel mock-up in each of the colorways. So whether you want to create a lookbook for your website, or you want to create a panel program, or you just want to have them in your folders in Canva. So anytime you're creating a mood board or you're creating a presentation for a client, we talk a lot about patterns and prints and, you know, how beautiful they are. And honestly, oftentimes you end up selling white linen. So, you know, having just a standard set of linen panels that you can throw on a presentation board and, you know, add to your presentation is, I think, worth the price of $49. So typically one particular mock-up, so if you were to use MockUp Studio to have the mock-up complete, have us do a mock-up for you, we would add it to your, we would provide it, put it in your backend studio. It's $8 each. Well, you know, 8 times 40 is quite a bit, but we're gonna offer this vendor collection for $49. So you can email us if that's something that you're interested in, and then we will be giving one away at the end of this. And it will be shared as a Canva folder file. So if you win this and you're not using Canva, we'll just get together, you can schedule a little coffee chat, and we'll talk about how to get that into your Canva folder and how to start using it right away. Okay, so also you can use, just quickly, you can use beautiful, we talked about, I think Lisa and I talked when we started, about content. I mean, right now we need so much content online, and how do we get it? You know, and so mockups is a great way to just have a backlog. If you're using something like Planoly, and once a month you go in and you plan your social media posts, like that would be a good time to like order a bunch of mockups and get them all set so that you can plan all your social media posts for the month and be done with it. The great thing of, you know, the mockups, once you have them, you can use them over and over and over in a multitude of different ways. So I will, while we're on this one, I'm going to point out another Canva tip. We talked about a little bit earlier about doing videos. So you can animate your videos too. So actually, okay. You'll have a button where you can choose, it'll say animate. I had already chosen one, so it had picked neon, but we'll just say for tumble. And you'll see you can pick a number of different effects. And then you can save it as a little video that can be put on Instagram. So it gets that kind of, you know, this is an overly active page, but you can create different animated videos, and then you can actually take maybe a presentation of 5 slides, animate each one, and then save it as an overall video. So you can create kind of a cool in and out type of pictures and motion for Instagram. And that's something that comes in Canva Pro. All right, so we're going to just kind of, this photo here, I think just wraps up what we talked about as far as, you know, how to get a mock-up. It's created in Photoshop. It's uploaded into Canva as a PNG file. So there's PNG files, JPEG files. PNG has, you know, the background removed, so you can actually lay things on top of other things, and you don't have that white background behind it. So these are, and then, you know, like we said, these can be added to mood boards, social media, websites, etc. So I'm going to just kind of go down to a few different ways to use this. And this is really a high level overview. We're going to go really fast because we've only got, I think, 5 minutes left. So I'm just going to go through and show you quickly things that are possible using the tools and the ideas that we've talked about so far. So here, designing on a photo, people ask you all the time, can you design on a photo? Well, you know, yes, you can. I'm going to take these off. You'll see this is just a photo. The problem is your end result is only going to be as good as your photo that you're designing on. So if you've got a photo that's got a bunch of other furniture in the room, in the way, you know, it's a little bit harder, but you can't skew items. So if your photos are at an angle, you can't really skew in Canva. So you can in Photoshop, but it makes it hard to design on a photo. But here we go. I'm just going to show you like a very quick, and again, for communication, like I talked about, this is a great way to communicate to your client. So, and to build on sales. So we're just going to go in and drag Roman shades, size it for an inside mount. I'm going to duplicate it, put it inside here. So we could start, maybe your client ordered Roman shades, and you say, okay, well, that looks great, but you know, these windows are weird. They could use some more height. Like, let me just show you what it's going to look like with some panels. And again, we're going to position this forward. Okay. And we're just quickly going to add some photos to her some panels to the presentation. And we'll duplicate that and throw that over here. So now it's one on each side. Oh, you know, I think it looks so much better if there's one in the middle. And so let's go ahead and cover that up. And now your client that window looks a whole lot better than it did in the beginning. And so presenting that to your client, you know, a lot of times, you know, maybe it's not in budget, you've got to start taking things away. Well, trust me, when they see photos like this, like they will go outside of their budget because they're so happy with that end result versus, you know, just maybe the reason they had you in was because they didn't like how those windows looked anyways, and just a Roman shade didn't look good anyway. So this, you can design on a photo. I showed you earlier, just searching for a backdrop that you want to start to build on top of in Canva. Just quickly how you can take an element, go into a shape. So this particular backdrop in Canva comes with black automatically. You can take a shape and fill that in. And then maybe you know their paint color, you know that it's a Benjamin Moore, you can go on the website and get the hex code, and you can go in and change that hex code. So we'll go in here to the color that they're using. So it can now represent the actual paint color that you're specifying, and you can change that color here. Again, searching for that. That one came with a little bit more dimension. This would be handy if you were going to be showing a table, or you want to add in a mock-up of a sofa. You could actually pop it in here and that's in side table. So, this is just a free photo in Canva, and it gives you the room to start adding some mock-ups and really building your sale. Here are just from scratch built up mock-ups. This particular one I pulled in, if you use JF or if you do commercial work, there's some beautiful fabrics in JF for commercial application. This one here is just maybe like you're working with a brand and you want to specify a particular sheer and a drapery. So this is a quick Canva tip. You can use this transparency button here. So I'm gonna actually highlight this sheer panel and show you the little trick that I used. That was actually a drapery panel that I played with the transparency. So you can see here it's a shibori panel, and then I just wanted it to give the illusion that it's more of a sheer with a back layer drapery of a blackout fabric. So that is all just kind of layered panels and playing with different tools that are available on Canva. And here's another one. So maybe you're working with a brand and they've got P-Tech units that they have to work around, maybe showing a side panel and then roller shade mock-up in the window. It's just a great presentation. Even in contract commercial work, designers still want to see what it's going to look like in the end. And so I think now like maybe virtual model rooms might become a thing. And so kind of getting in that, getting something like this put together where you can present that, I think is going to help you win more bids, close more sales. Now I'm just going to kind of scroll through some just different ones that I've put together. These were all different JF fabrics that were utilized for the duvet. You can change, pillows, front of the back, front of the duvet, back of the duvet, moving things around. And lastly, I'm going to quickly go through. So we talked about using individual items and layering them together. You can actually purchase, we've got curated ones on our website, but you can find online full scene mock-ups. They can only be used in Photoshop. There's really nothing you can do more to them in Canva, but you could create, add them all into Canva and send them off as a multi-page presentation. But here's a great example of a living room. So everything in the mock-up is white, and then you can go in and edit everything. So, this is a great way to show drapery, upholstery, pillows, carpeting, beautiful area rug. That is all, these are all, everything that you see here that's white can be edited in Photoshop. So that's a great way to show an overall concept or collection. This is a great room shot. I mean, this would be beautiful to have on your website or social media or just overall content. Here's another one with a great example of flooring and wallpaper. So you can change the wallpaper, you can change the drapery, the flooring, and these are pre-done. So you can see the light that's coming into the room and it looks like a beautifully photographed room. But you can change this and change the wallpaper, change the pictures, the drapery, and have, images, tons of content. So those are all like full scene mock-up options. I love this one. This is another example. JF has some beautiful rugs, area rugs. Here's a great way to just kind of showcase a rug with a few little accessories and just kind of sweeten up the whole image. And again, you'll see over here, those were all just white images that in Photoshop, they can be edited and changed to represent, your final look. So I think that is about time. I think we might have about 4 minutes left. I wanted to thank all of you for being on. I wanted to thank Lisa and JF Fabric for allowing me the opportunity to share this with you. If you need to learn more, maybe about Canva, maybe about e-commerce, if you're interested in designing your own collection, maybe you're working with print on demand, you want to learn more about that, we will offer full consulting or mini sessions if you are interested. As I said, this is all evolving as, COVID has really changed the way we do business, and we're all kind of thinking outside the box and evolving. And so if you go to the website is My MockUp Studio, you can get started by booking a coffee chat. It's 15 minutes to just really it's free. Just get on the phone and kind of talk about what you do in your business and how you think this could help you and what you might be looking for, and happy to put together a custom consulting package for you. And you can also email if you have any questions after this, info at My MockUp Studio, or you can go to the website and the contact us form.
Wonderful. Dawn, thank you. That was so amazing. Now listen, we have lots of questions, but before we get to the questions, I do recognize some people might need to pop off.
Okay.
So what I want to do is offer your lovely gift first.
Yep.
Okay, so I just have Gisela, our marketing coordinator. She's just doing a random selection.
Okay.
Just waiting for the name. Okay, Lori Glauser. Lori, if you're here with us still now, can you just pop your name in the chat? We'll give that a minute or so, and if not, I'll read another name. So in the meantime, I'm just going to go to some questions, and we'll see if Lori pops in here. So first question, Dawn. Can you, this is from Joanne Gowan. She says, can you tell me how you scale the fabric so that it is sized accurately in the image?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. That's all done in Photoshop. So with rendering a JPEG image that's taken from a vendor's website, there's it has to be almost like a full pattern repeat. And that is where in Canva, you can actually know the size of the drapery that you're working on, know the repeat of the pattern that you're working on, and then it's kind of repeated appropriately. But all of that is done in Canva. I'm sorry, in Photoshop.
Right. So if they're not familiar with Photoshop, then that's where MockUp Studio would come in, and they can purchase, you do all the mockups, they purchase them, and they'd be able to put them in Canva to use however they want. Great. Yep. Okay. So Lori Ponder says, so are you saying that Canva has images of blanks to which we can then map different fabrics and patterns?
No. So that is, you cannot edit or do any photo editing in Canva. That would have to be done in Photoshop and then brought in as a JPEG image or a PNG image into Canva to then layer into a presentation.
Right. Okay. Okay. So Lori Glauser has not responded. So I'm going to go to the next name. It's Diana Roy. So Diana, if you're with us, if you just want to put your name in the chat, that would be great. And we will continue to answer some of these questions. So another question here. This is from Alexa. She says, are you able to upload a rendering, for example, custom headboard to MockUp Studio? If so, can you then have it customized as per the use fee?
So if you are a vendor, we can, if there's something that is not in our library design and you wanted it created and turned into a mockup, that is something we can do for you. We can help you with that. So we're doing that right now for some different furniture manufacturers who want to show, I think this is what the question means, is like, I'm making a headboard, can I show it in multiple different fabrics, even though it's not a library image that you offer? Yes, so, anything that if you go to the website and you don't see it and you need it, just contact us, let us know what you're looking for, and we'll figure out how to work together and help you get that done.
Wonderful. Next question from Joanne Gowan. Joanne's asking, how do you scale the fabric image accurately into the image? I think that was asked prior, just in terms of scale. Yep. And so on. It's either done in Photoshop or that's what MockUp Studio can do. Diana did reach out. So Diana, what we will do is we have your email address from when you signed up. So if we will get back to you with all the information to connect with Dawn, but she does have your name, and we'll provide her with your email address, so you can coordinate that with her. So congratulations. Another question from Stacy Greenberg. What is the email again? Stacy, it is mymockupstudio.com, Dawn?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the email is info@mymockupstudio.com.
Great. And where do you get the mock-up images from? Can you just upload a sofa, or do you need a Photoshop to do this part?
Yeah, so
MockUp Studio, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can purchase something, but mockups are actually smart objects and they have to be turned into a smart object in Photoshop. And it's actually Photoshop uses layers in the editing. So it might maintain the texture as one layer and the shadows as a different layer. And then the actual design is another layer. So understanding all those layers, if you were to take a photo of a white sofa, it can be turned into a smart object. So again, like I said, that's something, if you need help with that, reach out to us and we'll certainly do our best to help you in that case.
Okay, great. There's some repeat questions here, so I'm not going to address those, but Alex Todd wanted to thank us both. She said she had to run right at 3, but she says it was a great presentation and very informative, so that's awesome. And she says lots to look forward to. Cheryl says great job. And then let's see if we have any more questions here. Pattern scale is so important. How do you get, yeah, so I think the biggest question is the scale. And I think that's the whole point of MockUp Studio. Because as Dawn said, Photoshop, if you're not a pro, or even sometimes if you are, can be a bit of a rabbit hole. So, you know, you start and then 3 hours later, you realize you're still not where you need to be. And it can be an amazing tool, but can also be very frustrating. And so that's really where MockUp Studio comes in. And really for not a lot of money, your time is so valuable. Dawn and her team can create these mock-ups for you that you will keep and use in your presentations. And the beauty is like these panels that Dawn uses, whether they're solid or not, you know, you can use them over and over again to different customers because they don't, you know, it's private, it's going to them. So you know, once you have these mock-ups, you can, you know, you can reuse them over and over, or if you're selling online, you can use them for that purpose. But I think, you know, one of the great things about if you are selling online, Dawn, it kind of dawned on me that especially if you're selling online, the importance of doing a mock-up as opposed to doing a real live sample. Because when you think you've got to order the fabric, you know, once you get the fabric, potentially you've got to put it in line to have it made. So that could be really 4 to 6 to sometimes 8 weeks, depending. So, and then you've got to photograph it and put it up on your website. In a mock-up, it can be almost instant. And the important thing in our industry is to get product to market quickly. So in a mock-up, you could have it done in a day as opposed to 8 weeks. So I think the time saving of this and even doing your presentations to your clients, I think is so valuable. I just want to make sure we've got everybody here. I think we're good. What is the turnaround time for a mock-up? So if I reach out to you and say, Dawn, this is what I want, when can you have it back to us?
Mm-hmm. Excellent question. So the library designs are turned around in 24 to 48 hours. And those will be on the website. You can just create your account and we'll get you a username and password for the client portal. And that's where you would go in and upload the JPEG image for the mockup. Tell us, you know, which library design you want. And then within 24 to 48 hours, it will be the designer, graphic designers that are working on these will have it put into your studio and you'll get an email that it's ready. So the library designs are pretty quick. If it's one of, you know, if you decide maybe you want to have a full scene mock-up, those are going to be a little bit more, probably closer to a week. And then if you would like us to create a mock-up out of maybe a product that you sell, that is really has to be quoted depending on the project because it really can be different. But just a library design like we looked at today, I will say, you know, I made this look, they all came out so beautiful because JF does such a great job of photographing their fabrics. So
you tell Dawn used to work for us.
Keep in mind, if you work for, you know, if you're using a vendor, a fabric vendor, and they don't have them online, then it may not be possible. Reach out to us. That's why we're not really like, it's not like a kind of a shopping cart type of thing where you just go on and order it. Like we're asking you, like, give us the information. We'll make sure we can do it and it's going to be worth, you know, your time and your money. So We have done them where maybe somebody took a picture with their phone of the fabric and we did what we could to put it into,
Right.
get an overall concept. But, the end result again is only going to be as good as the actual digital image from your vendor. So it's important to be working with a vendor that has beautiful images online.
Well, Dawn, thank you so much. And thanks to all of you for joining us. We have another great presentation next week. Heather's going to be talking about software that you can use that's going to integrate all of your accounting from all of your ordering, connect all of your vendors. It really is spectacular. And, we're just so happy to have people like Dawn and Heather who are just so smart and building these wonderful concepts and ideas for us to use. So Dawn, thank you. You can reach out to Dawn on My MockUp Studio or info@mymockupstudio.com. We will send everybody a copy of this presentation today so you can review it, and Dawn's info will be on there as well. And if you have any questions or comments, there's an area once we send you the email that you can comment on or ask a question. Happy to hear from you. Dawn, I cannot thank you enough. This is amazing. We're really excited, and we will definitely have you back.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited as well, and I really appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Dawn, I think you've got the controls, so I'll have you
okay.
meeting. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks again.
Okay, thank you.